Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, Earning After Serving, a look at the options available to veterans. My name is Tanya, founder of Top Tier Consulting, and I'm truly delighted to have the honor to speak with you today. So speaking of that, let's have a look at the agenda we have planned for you. So we begin by first of all thanking each and every single one of you for your service. You have served in a military branch of some sort and you are here today. So we are truly honored to have you with us. We thank you for your service and the contribution you made to your nation. We'll also have a look which branch of the military you are representing today. Just get a feel of who is in the room. Then we'll take a note of why are we here? What are we doing? What are we discussing? We'll then go into exploring the cash quadrants and then look at what you can do individually for yourself. We will then turn to some calls to actions, elaborate next steps, and then we will open it up for questions and answers. So without further ado, here are three of the five branches of the military. So we've got the Marines here, the Coast Guard, the Navy. If any of you are from those branches, please type a 1, 2, or 3, depending on which branch you represent in the chat. I'd love to get to know who is in the house. All right. A lot of Marine Corps being represented today. That is wonderful. Okay, a few Navy individuals with us. And here's an extra Coast Guard that has just appeared. So beautiful. Other branches, fear not, we are getting to you. So if you were in the Army or the Air Force, please type a 4 or a 5 in the chat. I'd love to see if these branches are represented today. So, okay, we've got several Air Force veterans typing their numbers in the chat. That's perfect. Excellent. A few individuals from the Army. That is absolutely wonderful. And once again, thank you so much for your service. We are truly in your debt. We thank you very much. And so let's move forward with the reason why we are here. And so, as I mentioned previously, you each served your nations and now you are living as a civilian. Perhaps you do so part-time or full-time, depending, and you are perhaps adapting to various changes in your life. That might be with your health, having to adapt to certain conditions. Perhaps you're adapting to the economy that is changing, or perhaps you are adapting to the technological changes that are going on. Either way, you might be looking for ways to utilize your military skills in a civilian setting, finding that bridge between the two spheres. Perhaps you're searching for fulfillment after contributing in such a considerable manner. I mean, serving is a great honor, and having that same sentiment in the civilian world can be a challenge for certain individuals. And perhaps you are seeking a means of sustaining yourself as well as your family. And perhaps some of you might want to start your own business. After all, you did develop incredible leadership skills while serving, so why not lead other individuals? However, despite that leadership training, perhaps you're not sure where to begin in your entrepreneurial journey. So you might be wondering, like this gentleman here, what am I to do? What should I do? What can I do? Well, there's actually two options to consider. So first off, we'll explore the cash quadrants because the options come from this quadrant, yet it's difficult to explain the options when you're not familiar with the quadrant. So first off, let's have a look at that. Any of you today are aware of the cash quadrants? Yes or no? You can type that in the chat. It's a concept brought forward by Robert Kiyosaki. Okay, several individuals have read his book, been introduced to this quadrant in the past. Lovely, lovely. A few individuals, this is their first exposure to it. So fear not, I will go through the 4 quadrants with you just so that we are all on the same page. So the cash quadrant, as I mentioned, comes from Robert Kiyosaki. He is the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He also wrote a book about the cash quadrant. And so the quadrants ultimately represent, if we look at the diagram, a left side and a right side. And sometimes people will say this is the right and left side of money. Now, on the left side, we have an E, which stands for employee. And then you also have S that stands for self-employed. Now, employee, we understand what that is. You trade your time for money, and so you work for someone else. Self-employed, the role gets reversed. You work for yourself, and however, you do still trade that time for money. So Robert Kiyosaki, he says, you simply chose your job in that case, you know, and you own your job. And then on the right side of money, you have B for business ownership, and you have I for investments. Now, we're going to look at the business ownership and the investments a little more in detail. That way we can get a greater grasp of what he was alluding to in this cash quadrant. So if we begin with investing, investors ultimately find assets to generate income for themselves. The earnings in this scenario are liquid, meaning they are cash, and that means that it's accessible money. It's not tied up where you can't touch it and you have to wait a certain period of time, or you have to jump through hoops in order to obtain it. Now, according to Robert Kiyosaki, investors then use the income from those assets to acquire even more assets, growing their wealth through this velocity of money. And so speaking of Robert Kiyosaki, we can see him here in the top right corner, sitting on a Jeep. This is when he was in the Navy himself. So Robert was well, he is a veteran ultimately, and then he chose the route of business ownership and ultimately investment as well. Now, the opportunity to invest that we are proposing to you is trading. So we are bringing forth the option to learn how to trade. And you may be wondering, well, trade what? And specifically, we are speaking about foreign exchange, commodities, as well as cryptocurrency. So this may be currencies that are being traded on the market, commodities. This is alluding to silver, gold, oil, for example. And then in cryptocurrency, this is the whole Bitcoin, Ethereum space. Ultimately, with our approach, you invest your own funds in order to build your own wealth. And so this will activate your own money supply, and it will enable you to create your own economy because you are in control of your money. So trading, it actually will provide equal access to money. Essentially, the payout is objective. It's not subjective. The market pays trades, not people. And so that's why there's no discrimination on age, gender, ethnicity, physical capabilities, etc. So this is why for veterans, it's a great opportunity, because if you're recovering from an injury, or perhaps you served a long time ago and now are retired, this can nevertheless enable you to generate income for yourself and build wealth for yourself, your family, future generations, etc. So trading enables you to dictate your worth and your value. You don't have to wait for a subsidy of some sort or an employer to hand you a paycheck of a certain amount. You can choose, hey, I am worth X amount, and then trade your way to earn that X amount. And so you ultimately get to earn the money you see for yourself, that amount that you see yourself earning and deserving and worthy of. And so that's where you get to reclaim control of your income. And this again is despite perhaps having to recover from a physical injury. Perhaps there's an emotional or mental condition that you are composing with at the moment. Perhaps you're geographically distant from large hubs, for example. Perhaps you chose to live off the grid. If you have internet connection, you can trade, which means you can earn your own money. And also, speaking of earning your own money, even if you don't have a lot of time, the allocation required in order to trade and yield profits for yourself is not tremendous. I mean, we are talking about typically 30 minutes per day, and the level of income could be quantifiable to days worked in a conventional job market. So there doesn't have to be this compromise or this sacrifice of time versus money. Now, the benefits of trading essentially is that it will increase your financial literacy. You'll learn how the stock market works, the crypto space works, how to build that wealth for yourself. And as a result, it will develop your financial leadership and it will lead money to you. And this enables you to achieve financial independence. Because as I mentioned before, if you're not dependent on a subsidy or an employer, and you have the control to generate the income you need to sustain yourself, your living expenses, perhaps some medical bills, then you are financially independent. And once again, this gets you on the right side of money. And this enables you also through trading where you can generate income in your sleep. So again, we are moving away from trading that time for money. Now, you might be thinking, that's really great, Tanya. However, I don't know how to trade. I've never done that before. Well, I hear you. I hear you. And I want to say that you have one skill that is tremendously important in trading. Because of your military background, you have discipline. And in trading, discipline is absolutely crucial. That is the one thing that honestly will differentiate profits with losses. And a lot of the individuals who incur losses and who have the negative experience in the stock market or in the market in general is that they didn't have the discipline, or perhaps it faltered throughout their experience. So they lacked a little bit of that consistency. Now, in the military, that gets mitigated because discipline, consistency are all instilled in the service. So that is your starting point. And so you are already ahead of the game. But in all seriousness, we will teach you how to trade. That's not a concern you have to have. We offer training. The format is recorded courses that are available online. They are available in a multitude of languages, and the topics covered will include the terminology. That way you get to learn the lingo. It will also address the market patterns. That way you get to learn how to read these infamous charts. You'll learn about trade management as well as trade psychology, because as T. Harv Eker says, how you do anything is how you do everything. And so success is 95% mindset, 5% skill set. So hence why psychology, mindset, very, very important when it comes to trading. And again, this is another phenomenal transferable skill from the military, because mindset was a crucial element of the missions or the operations that you completed. And so the support that we additionally offer through this training is that you get access to a community. Again, like the military, having that teamwork, it really does make that dream work. So we offer a community where you can go to speak with fellow traders, whether they're amateurs or professionals, and you can create those relationships, those interactions, and have that sense of belonging. You also get tutorials as well as assistance getting your account set up. That way you can be ready to trade, fund your account, and be ready to enter the market. And speaking of entering the market, that's other element of support that we offer, where our educators will open up the chart, look at the market in real time, and analyze it with you in this online call. That way you can understand how they analyze the market, how they think about it, the strategy that they're developing in order to place their trade, and you can do the same in your account and maximize on their intel. Now, the training is a $180 subscription fee, and it is in US dollars. Now, we talked about investing. Now let's move on to business ownership. So with regards to business ownership, in the words of Robert Kiyosaki, a business is a system that makes money even when you aren't working. Business owners look to delegate and not keep all the work for themselves. When the economy takes a downturn, business owners have the most control to make the business work and survive. They create or acquire a new system that produces money. So ultimately here, the biggest takeaway in business ownership is that you are the decision maker. So you are in full control. You guide that ship, you steer that plane, again, regardless of which branch of the military that you were in. You can use the analogy you wish. So the proposition we have for you in terms of business ownership is to become an ambassador. So this enables you to launch your own business. You can begin this entrepreneurial journey, and you do so by leveraging our business model. So you don't have to break your head of getting your logo set up and your marketing materials and your domain names registered. We give you all of that, and it's a plug and play type of approach. And the model that we offer has an international reach. So whether you are in North America, overseas, down under, in Australia, that doesn't matter. You can operate your business. And even if you are in North America and you want to do business abroad, that's possible as well. Moreover, the business ownership is an opportunity for you to apply your leadership skills. Again, to come back to T. Harv Eker, how you do anything is how you do everything. If you were able to lead a team in the military, why wouldn't you be able to lead an organization that is all done for you? All you have to do is add your flavor to it, and it's going. So there's also a possibility to expand your organization. So if you kick it off, things are wonderful, you are super excited and thriving, and you want to expand it, that is absolutely feasible. It's often encouraged and supported, because if you're thriving, everyone's thriving. And so you can additionally use our revenue stream in order to grow the income that your business generates. And so the revenue stream that we offer is the commission sale of the Elevate program. So that infamous trading program that we were looking at before, you can do the sale of that. Now you might be wondering, okay, this is great, Tanya. However, I've never owned a business before. How will I do that? Again, we will teach you. We are not going to throw you into the deep end of the pool here. All the ambassadors, the individuals who do step up and say, hey, I really want to own my own business, they receive entrepreneurial mentorship because we all start somewhere. That's totally understandable, and there's no judgment there. So the mentors that are aligned with these ambassadors, they are owners of multi-million-dollar businesses, so they do know what they're talking about. They have been in business for several years, so they have that experience of that infamous all startups fail in the first 5 years. No, no, no. The advice they will share is intended to foster profitability within your first year of operation. And so the format is online group mentorship and weekly mindset calls, as well as a community. Now, is all this mandatory? Absolutely not. These are simply tools that we put at your disposal to make your business ownership the most positive experience ever, and also the most lucrative for yourself, where you get out of it so much more than you put in. And so speaking of the tools and support that we provide, just to name a few, you've got your back office system, so that infamous online computer system in order to track your business, enable certain features. You also get access to the marketing material and your financial reporting. That way you can keep track of the numbers and not break your head. And we also facilitate the payment processing. So if you are completing these commission sales of the Elevate program, then you have that gateway in order to accept payments by credit card online. And the fee in order to own your business is $1,500 USD. And this brings me to our mission 56. What is this mission? Well, we are on a mission by February 28th to help 56 veterans. And the objective is to empower them to create their own economy and to grant these individuals with equal access to money. Again, not associating a person who is composing with an injury, whether it's physical or emotional, mental, that they can't earn the same amount of money as a fully abled individual working full-time. And so that enables an individual to be financially self-sufficient. So ultimately, you don't have to rely on anything or anyone in order to pay for your expenses, pardon me. You can take care of all of that yourself. And all you need is that mobile device, that computer, that internet connection, and there you have it. You have full control of your finances. And then the last point is the mission 56 still enables everyone to repurpose their leadership into a new skill. So whether that's business ownership or trading, you can use what you learned in the military and put it to great use even as a civilian. So the call to action at this point is to determine where you see yourself at this point in time. Do you see yourself as that business owner and you're saying, hey, I really want to be an ambassador? And as we can see from this slide, you want to be on the right side of money. You want to be that B in the cash quadrant. Perhaps you see yourself more as the I being the investor. I want to learn to trade. I want to start trading. So just drop an I in the chat if that is you. If you saw yourself more as that business owner, drop a B. Okay. And if you don't see yourself as the business owner or the investor because you're so caught up thinking about your friends, put a T in the chat because you want us to tell your friends. You know that they are specifically looking for this, and this information can make a difference for them. So just take a moment, put in the chat which letter resonates most with you. Again, B for business owner, I for investor, and T for tell my friends. Beautiful. I see that chat completely getting filled up. Thank you. Thank you for taking your position. Much appreciated. And so now let's have a look at the next steps for each type of letter, so to speak. So for those, I'm speaking specifically who put that B in the chat. You want to be a business owner. That's how you see yourself. And so you're interested in entrepreneurship, you're interested in leading the way, and you want to be an ambassador. Well, given that you did speak up now, we will schedule a meeting with you so that we can get you started, tell you about the framework or the model, I should say, and enable you to launch your business. If you put an I in the chat, we can see here, show me the money, right? So you see yourself as an investor and you want to learn how to trade. So in that case, given that, again, you voiced up, put that I in the chat saying, hey, this is me, I am taking position, we will email you that sign up link. That way you can benefit from the training program immediately, and you can start trading very shortly thereafter. And finally, if you put a T in the chat, you see this as a great fit for your friends. You want us to talk to your friends, to tell your friends about all of this. So please, in that case, contact us at info at toptierconsult.ca. Please mind the .ca, and list the names of these individuals you would want us to contact. And feel free to share this webinar with them, given that it's recorded and publicly available. Again, it will be our delight to bring the information they are seeking to their eyes. And now we are ready for the Q&A. I know you guys were quite active in the chat. I really thank you for the interaction. And so just out of confidentiality, we will stop the recording. So for those on the replay, thank you so much for joining us today. Feel free to reach out to us. Once again, if you have questions of your own, you can use the email in the comments below or that you saw in the slide, and we'll be in touch.